It's the weekend and you have financial questions that need answering. That can only mean one thing. It's time for Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome, welcome. It is the Jill on Money show. It's the first weekend of October. I'm very excited. I love October. I love October, November, December. I love the fourth quarter. Maybe it's because we have about 6 hardcore weeks until Thanksgiving when we got your attention, and then that last week of the year where you need to do those year-end money moves. A lot of action in your financial life right around now. If you have a financial question, just go to jillonmoney.com and click the Contact Us button. That's what Daniel did. Daniel's on the line from Virginia. Daniel, what's going on? What can we do for you?
Yes, I'm just trying to get a sanity check with regards to my finances. I'm unfortunately approaching old age. I've got about maybe 6 or even 3 years before I can retire from the government. And I'd like to retire as early as possible. So my question to you is, can I retire at 56 3/4, or should I just wait until 60?
Okay, first of all, do you notice what he said? He said he's approaching old age. And now that I'm pissed off at you because I am in old age, that means. Okay, so you're 53 right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am, like that. Okay, how much do you make?
Between my wife and I, we both work for the government. It's around $340.
Wow. Does she want to call it quits in 3 years also?
No. She's willing to work a little bit later.
Okay. So just split it out for me. So you, Daniel, you make how much?
About 170.
Okay. And so it's pretty much equal. And is she also 53, or is she younger, older?
She's a little younger. She's 50.
Okay. And she makes that same 170.
About 140.
When you guys are looking forward and, when you think about if in 3 years you were to call it quits, how long do you think she would keep working?
At least until she was 58. Right now, so she's got a little bit longer.
Let's pretend it, it's age 56. What would your pension be at 56?
So if I were to retire early, I would take a reduced hit. Mm-hmm. So instead of 34 a year, it would be around 22.
Where does it jump? At what point is it? Like, in other words, if you said in 3 years I get 22, what is it in 6 years?
So if I were to do the full amount until 60, it would be 34.
This call's over. He's staying.
That's what I'm thinking too. But so,
I mean, that's a lot. That's a big difference, dude. I'm sorry.
I know.
Do you hate it?
I don't hate it. I'm just, I'm looking at, the end of the road, and 3 years is 3 years.
It goes by so fast. You're thinking about the last 3 years that moved in slow motion because of COVID.
It may be.
Okay, listen to me. That extra $12,000 a year is a serious number. How much do you guys need to live on?
So I use this website, Personal Finance, that kind of calculates everything. So it does the budget, it does the Monte Carlo theory, yada yada. Based on that, around 13 a month. 13
grand a month. You're entitled to a pension. Will you also be entitled to Social Security?
Yes.
Okay. At full retirement age, what does your Social Security benefit look like?
I looked at 62. I didn't even go out as far as 67.
Oh, my God. You're going to kill me. Okay. So what is 62?
It's about $2,000 a month.
Now you're going to tell me about all the massive amounts of money that you've accumulated. So tell us, let's see if you're going to tell me whether you can retire, because this is going to be the real critical aspect of this. So how much money is in your retirement account right now?
So one thing I failed to mention was that I'm retired from the military, so I get about 27 a year from that. So that's free and clear.
Okay, so that's 27 grand, not 2,700 a month, right?
27 grand, yes.
Okay, yep, I got it.
And then we have approximately $700K in our thrift savings plan with the government. I just recently did $10,000 in an I bond. I have what I call my funny money in the Schwab account, which is about $35K. I've got around $3,000 in a real estate crowdfunding platform. And then, I've got a savings account and checking, which is about 80.
And when you said TSP, was that you and your wife's balance together?
Correct.
Okay. How about a house? What do you got?
Yep. I have a rental that is getting ready to get sold. Got about 100K in value that I expect to recoup.
Okay.
And then I've got a home that is, the loan on it is 560, and depending on which website, they value it around 800.
You're going to stay in this place?
Oh yeah. I've got a 2.2% interest rate. So.
Oh, God bless you. 30-year?
Yep.
Beautiful. Why don't you have as much? Where's all this money gone? Like, it seems to me you're making a lot of money, and you should have more in your thrift savings plan. What's going on here? I'm missing something. Is there some debt? What's happening? Do you have some kids that are eating up all your money?
Well, I didn't start working for the government until after I retired from the military.
And then how much were you making then, just out of curiosity?
Probably 90 at the end.
And your wife she's totally cool. If you, let's just say, I'm not saying you're going to do this, but if you were to step down at 56, would you have then a third career?
Maybe. I wouldn't want one.
I am not convinced by that at all. Definitely not. I think you're a little shy on this. I got to be honest with you. If I'm just doing the numbers here, right? You need $13,000 a month. Now, it is true. Your wife's, is she maxing out her retirement account?
Oh, yeah, both of us are.
Her take home, my guess is what, 80-ish? 80, 90? You're in a high tax area, because I'm looking at the need of $13,000 a month, right? And I'm looking at $2,200 from the military and $1,800 from your pension and $6,000 from her. And I'm coming up short. I got a little, as we used to say, I got a case of the shorts. It depends. Like if you said to me, well, you know what I would do? I'll tell you what, Jill, I will work part-time to make up that difference as long as I don't have to, work for what I'm doing now. I mean, that's a possibility. You need another $3,000 a month, and you can't take it out of your accounts right now. We need those accounts to grow. If you so the difference, of course, is that number one, if you kept working till age 60, then we have you're making money and saving money, and we have that extra $1,000 a month from the pension. Either you have to say, I'll do it at 56, but it's $10,000 a month, or it is wait till 60. That's the way I interpret these numbers. The problem is that 56 until you claim Social Security, and I really wouldn't want you to claim it at 62, there's a 10-year period where you're going to suck a lot of money out of your portfolio if you do $13,000 a month.
You're confirming exactly what I assumed already. I just wanted someone smarter than me to confirm that.
I mean, it's not terrible. And by the way, do you have some rich parents that are going to die and leave you money?
Unfortunately not.
And unfortunately, they won't die, or unfortunately, they don't have money.
The not dying part.
If you're like Daniel and need a retirement sanity check, just go to JillOnMoney.com and click Contact Us. Don't forget to check the box if you want to come on the air live. We'll be right back.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, and we're trying to take the mystery out of your financial life by answering your financial questions. Could be about retirement, education funding, maybe it's a housing question, whatever is on your mind, we're here to help you out. And right now, let's go talk to Anne from Baltimore.
Well, I want to thank you and Mark. We've been listening to you for a couple of years and had, we thought, our financial plans all in order. And I'm calling today because I think I have one of the best kinds of financial problems. I am about to start a new position at my institution. I got promoted and it is doubling my salary.
Fantastic. Oh my God. Doubling a salary. Wow. Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about what's going on and how we're going to spend all of your money. I'm rubbing my hands together. Very excited.
Well, it's freaking me out a little bit because we've been so cautious and careful and have lots of plans for many, many years. And so we're a little lost as to what to do regarding taxes in particular, but also my contributions to retirement, whether I should stay in my Roth 403B or go back and revert back to some pre-tax 403B contributions. So this is really where we're just stumped right now.
Okay. These are, like you said, good problems to have. So first of all, Anne, how old are you?
I'm 58.
And is married, you said a we, so is there a married partner or spouse?
There's a spouse and she is 60.
How much is our new salary?
205.
And what about spouse? Is she working or is she retired? What's she up to?
She's retired from teaching and is working part-time and makes 25.
Is she receiving a pension yet?
No, neither of us have pensions.
How could you be? Oh, is she a private school teacher?
We are both college professors.
Oh.
Instead, we're in the TIAA system.
Oh, great. Okay. That's fine. That's cool. All right. So let's go through this now. You were maxing out a retirement contribution previously?
I was making all of my contributions, which was about $18,000, into the Roth 403B. I just started doing that last year.
How much money is in there right now in the 403B?
It's 25.
And tell us about the pre-tax. What's in there?
In my pre-tax, I have 650 and she has 541.
Okay. And before you had this doubling of your salary, so from, you go from 100 to 200, and she was working part-time. So on 125 together, how was your cash flow?
So we had about $5,000 a month in household expenses or total expenses. And we were able to, currently in savings, we have about $18,000 and $25,000 in a brokerage. And we both have Roth IRAs.
Okay. How much in each of those Roth IRAs?
Mine has 131, and she just started hers because she doesn't get any kind of retirement benefit, and she has 3,300 in hers.
3,300. Okay. Too bad I wrote 33,000, but okay. I'll take 3,300. Very good. Do you guys own a home?
We do.
And how much would you guess it's worth?
So it looks like it's worth about $350. And we just refied earlier this year into a 30-year fixed at 2.875.
Just in under the wire. How much is outstanding on that newly refinanced 30-year?
225.
Do you own any other real estate?
No.
You don't spend a lot of money.
No.
You guys are really in great shape. Wow.
We do, and we don't. We own our cars. We bought one last year, but we're able to pay cash for it, and that makes us feel more comfortable to be able to do that.
That's amazing. Do you have kids?
No.
All right. And do you guys have your estate planning done?
We do. We have all the documents, all the directives for medical and financial, and we have wills.
Great. Any old insurance kicking around, not just what they give you from the school, but anything else?
I have a little extra, probably just 150, and she does not have, we stopped paying on hers. But about 3 years ago, we did get long-term care insurance.
Okay.
For both of us. And that premium is less than $5,000 a year. So we're really comfortable being able to afford that.
Have you guys looked ahead at what your Social Security benefit might be?
Yeah, I have the current numbers, but I have no idea what they're going to be with my new salary. Mine will be $2,850 a month, and hers at time of retirement is $2,375.
how long do you think you're going to be at this position for? Like when you look ahead, is this something you want to do for 10 years, 5 years? What do you think?
Yeah, well, I want to stay as long as they'll have me now. It's the same institution, so I really love it there. I hope to be there 10 years.
You know, what's amazing about that, Anne, is 3 big things that are completely fantastic about where you are. Number one, you don't spend a ton of money. You spend hardly any money, actually. And so even if I put that up to, say, $6,000 a month, just because I want you to travel and have some fun and whatever, you're going to be great because you're going to have a chunk of your need will be covered by Social Security. And most people who make $200,000 a year, I think it's because you earn this level of salary later in life. You've learned to live on less. And so it's so interesting to me that, essentially, because of that, now you're going to have all this huge free cash flow and we're going to figure out what to do with it. But most of your needs are met. So one great thing, you don't spend a lot of money. Second great thing, you're going to work until your full retirement age. And that's going to essentially mean that your Social Security is going to cover pretty much most of your need. Not everything, but most of your need. Okay, fantastic. So I'm very happy about this for you guys. Now, the extra money that you will be earning is sort of my query for the moment. Now, Mark, what are we going to do? Are we going to move her back to pre-tax? Or I'm sort of feeling like maybe we just keep doing Roth, because if I look at your total income, so I'm looking at your 250. Are you married legally?
We are.
So in 250, you got your 24% top bracket. I'm sort of feeling like maybe I don't want to add to this required minimum distribution that's going to come later. And you understand why. It's simply that we want to make sure, because now you got over $1 million anyway that's not been taxed. And we know that you're going to have to, between the two of you. And so we know that you're going to have a tax burden later. We'd love for you to just sock away that money in Roth and know that that's money that you've already paid tax on. And sure, you know what, later you will absolutely have the ability to, take some of the money if you wanted to and convert it. You're not going to be able to really control it in a huge way. I guess that there is some potential window of opportunity if you decided, you work for 10 years and maybe you stop working and then potentially you don't claim Social Security till you're 70. Maybe there's a little window of opportunity where you could do some conversion. I wouldn't go crazy with it. You're going to have a lot of money in savings. Big deal. You're going to spend it. You'll pay tax on it. It'll be fine. So, okay, you max out your retirement, you put your 27 grand into the Roth. Extra money that you make, beef up that brokerage and savings. Just let's get that rocking and rolling, because that'll give you some flexibility later. So when does the new job start?
In about 2 weeks.
Any trepidation at all?
Of course.
But you've been there, right?
I've been there 11 years. I love the institution. And so it's a new challenge, and I'm really excited about it and grateful. And so I'm pretty sure it's going to work out really well.
Well, I know we'd all like to have Anne's problem. Well, I want my salary doubled. It doesn't have to be as good as that. In fact, it could be any financial issue. Maybe it's an issue that's causing you concern. Maybe it's a good thing. Regardless of what's behind it, we're here to help you out. It is Jill on Money. That's our website, and that's the name of the show. And we will be right back.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. And as we field all of the questions from you guys, I know that there are a lot of folks out there who are seeking more in-depth financial help and advice. If you find yourself in that camp, then you should check out our sponsor, Facet Wealth. Why? because Facet Wealth does serious, full-blown financial planning. And whether you have a lot of money or not so much money, you are paired with a certified financial planner professional. And that person is going to uncover all the different parts of your financial life. And these folks don't receive commissions, and they've got no products to sell. And I think that's awfully important. So go ahead and visit cbsaudio.com/Jill for 2 months free off your first year of financial planning with Facet Wealth. Okay, next up, let's talk to Marie from Minnesota. How can we help you out today?
Well, I have some cash that I need your advice on what to do with.
Okay, I like cash. It's one of my favorite asset classes. How much is in there?
About $50,000.
How come you have this cash? Like, did you get a windfall on something? You sell a piece of property? What happened?
The long version is, a year and a half ago, I met this lovely man. At the end of last year, we decided to move in together. This year, each of us sold our respective homes. We bought a townhome. We're doing remodeling, and I anticipate having about $50,000 left from the sale of my house.
Great.
That I need to find out what to do.
How'd you meet this guy?
Internet dating site.
Really? It worked.
Yeah, I'm 70, he's 72.
You're brave. Now, after my father died, I said to my mother, get ready to swipe. She goes, I'm too old for that. And then I learn all the time that does not matter what your age is, your willingness is good, right? Your willingness to do it is good. Did you have to go on a bunch of dates with losers before you found Mr. Wonderful 72-year-old?
No, actually, no, because I was pretty clear who I was looking for.
All right. Well, that's good. So you went on. Yeah. So I have a friend of mine. She's so funny. She used to say, there are a lot of really interesting people. It's not someone you want to spend the rest of your life with. But like, if you go into it just saying like, it may be something great. It could be a friend. It could be this. It could be that. And you're right. You have to make that filter very narrow. So that's a good way to do it also. So Marie, are you and your beau working or retired?
Both retired.
Okay. And what is the source of your income, Marie?
I have Social Security and then 2 pensions.
2 pensions, not 1, but 2. How much is the Social Security?
I gross annually about $37,600.
Great. And what about the 2 pensions?
One of them is $26,500 and the other is $3,300.
26,500, like 26,500 for the year, and the other one you said 3,300 a month?
No, a year. It's tiny.
Oh, okay. So now 37,000 from your Social Security. You got the bigger pension and the smaller pension. That's about 67 grand, 67.4. How are you living on that money? Is that comfortable for you? Do you need to dip into other sources? What's going on?
No, that's really comfortable. I live within that very well. I think in the last couple of years, I've only taken out about 5,000 or maybe a little bit more from my investments.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about those investments.
It's at Vanguard. So I have a traditional IRA that's $113,000, Roth IRA that's $156,000, and then a money market traditional IRA that's $30,000. And then I've got a couple of savings bonds too.
How much in savings bonds?
I have one that's $34,000 at 7% interest.
Ooh.
I inherited that from my parents, and then and that's comes due, or the term ends in 8 years. And then I bought 10,000 in I bonds last December, and then when the rate went up again this month, I bought another 10,000.
All right, so you got so you got plenty of money in safe money, right? So you got the 54,000, and when you said your money market is 30,000, was that in addition to the 113 or part of the 113?
It's in addition to the 113.
Okay, I gotcha. And the house that you bought together is worth how much about?
I think we paid about $420,000 for it, but we're keeping our finances totally separate, but we're into the house 50-50.
Okay, that seems good. And do you have kids?
Yes, 2 adult sons.
And they're fine?
They're wonderful, and they're both financially independent.
And those are my favorite kinds of children. And there's no mortgage on that place. You bought it for cash, right?
Yep.
Okay. So we do have a little bit of room to pull money out of the traditional IRA right now. So for, say, this year and next year, because your required minimum distributions, you've got 2 years to go, right?
Correct.
So what if we took, first things first, what if you pulled out this year $20,000 from your traditional IRA and use some of the 50 to pay the tax on it, and then do the same thing next year? So, it's like kind of good timing wise because you don't have to leave that much in cash. And then what's kind of nice, over the next 6-8 months, you're going to remove the amount of money from that traditional. You're going to pop it into you're simply going to convert that into a Roth.
Okay, great.
And I think that makes sense. And you'll have the money to then pay the tax that's due. You just use some of the cash. It's not that, you're not in a huge tax bracket, but it's going to cost you some amount of money, thousands of dollars, probably less than 10. Then the question is, what do you do with the rest of it? Yes, you're right. The money market account is cash. I'm not in such a huge rush to roll the dice. How do you feel about investing right now?
I'm okay with assuming risk because I'm so confident that I can live on my income.
Right. Okay. We'll get back to Marie in just a minute. Hey, during the break, hop on to JillOnMoney.com and sign up for the free weekly newsletter. It's a perfect tune-up for this show. Jill on Money. We'll be right back.
Follow Jill on Twitter and Instagram for more personal finance content. Just use the handle @JillOnMoney. Now, back to the show.
You are back. It's Jill on Money. And before we get back to Marie from Minnesota, just want to remind everyone that when you're on the website, because you've bookmarked it and you just love to check out everything Jill on Money at JillOnMoney.com, I should remind you that you can also pre-order the new book. It's called The Great Money Reset, right there on the front door of the site, JillOnMoney.com. The Great Money Reset. It's coming out in January. Okay, let's go back to Marie from Minnesota. Do your 2 adult sons have children? Is there anything you want to do in terms of helping out, 529 plans or anything like that?
I haven't yet. I just keep thinking I might be best giving them money when they need it if I have it. But I raised my kids as a single parent, and I supported them myself. And I'm also looking at my money now as for me to have fun.
Yeah.
So and they're fine with that too. So, but I have thought I could start 529 for them and just kind of click that off my aren't I nice list.
Okay, you are nice. You don't have to do that right now. I guess the question is, if I've got 50 and I'm going to essentially pull 40 grand over the course of 2 calendar years and convert that 40 into a Roth, you're going to have to pay tax on it. So of the 50, let's say that we're going to use, I'm going to make it a higher number, but let's say we're going to use 15 grand to pay taxes that are due. Here's the thing. I mean, I can make a case for 2 different ways to approach this. One is leave it alone. Keep your cash. Don't worry about it and don't think twice. The other is to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to have 35 grand. Why don't I put right now, I can open up another Vanguard account. I'll make it a brokerage account and I'll make it pretty easy. I'll buy, I'll put half of the money. I can put, say, 15 grand in a stock market index and 15 grand in a bond market index. And maybe that'll just be fine and dandy, a non-retirement investment account. But I want to tell you clearly, it's not actually that important that you do that. So if you feel like you want to and you want to have some upside, you'll have upside there. If you feel like, you know what, I'd just rather leave the cash on hand, that's fine with me too. I mean, if you feel like, oh, I got to be nice to my stupid grandkids, I mean, my lovely, wonderful grandkids, then if you think you'd like to do that, why don't how many grandkids are there?
4.
It depends. Like sometimes the numbers do work out. So if you say, I got 4 grandkids right now, why don't I put 5 grand each into 529 accounts for each of those kids? And then you don't invest the money at all. You invest the money, but it's for them. And you say, I'm going to just put 5 grand into each of these accounts. And you make sure that the parents know, hey, this account, this is it. This is all they get. Like, I'm not doing this again, because you're not. It's like a one-time thing. How old are these grandkids? What's the age ranges?
8 to 14.
It's a good time to do it. I would say that I almost would rather do that if you're at all inclined. If you don't want to, I don't want to guilt you into doing it, honestly.
Yeah,
but
no.
if you are inclined to do it, I think it's a good time to do it because age-wise, it's a good time. And also it's a more efficient way to invest. So that way, all you need to do is with the cash that's left, you say 5 grand each for the grandkids, you open up these accounts, and the rest of the money stays in cash. You pay the tax that's due for converting 20 grand this year, 20 grand next year. The following year, you have to start taking your required minimum distribution, so you can do that. And if you want, you can just sort of keep converting a little bit at a time. You can take the money out, or you can just take the money out and add it to your cash position, but you're in good shape. Those pensions save you.
Why are you saying 20,000 this year, 20,000 next year? Does that just keep me in a lower tax bracket?
Yeah, exactly. Keeps you in your 22%. If you wanted to, you really could go all the way up. I mean, I kept you in 22, but the 24% tax bracket, you would actually be able to convert half of the money this year and half of the money next year. And you would then pay a higher tax, and then you'd soak up all the cash. I think slowly is probably better in this case. Let's see how your expenses are. I want you to have some cash. And the same thing, by the way, if you don't feel like you want to do 5 grand all at once for the kids, you can do 3. You could say, I'm going to put 3,000 for each of them. It's fine. I wouldn't be in such a hurry. I personally, if you have an itch to invest, fine. I would keep the money in cash and be boring.
What does it make sense, just because the market is so volatile now, to do just a little bit each month of that 20,000? Just do a little bit each month until I do the 20,000.
Sure, you could do that. I mean, it's totally up to you. Listen, the reality is you're better off doing it all at once right now because you're buying things on discount. And even if it goes down even further, you're kind of like, you're at least halfway to getting a pretty damn good bargain, and maybe it's better than that. And if you feel like you want to, and I think 20 and 20, and then the following year, let's see how things move. Let's see where you are. Let's see how things feel. You may say, I don't want, that's great. By the way, you'll have 200 grand in your Roth. Your traditional will be less than 100. Your required minimum distributions will be lower, so you won't really have to do that much.
Right. Good.
And you'll just be able to take some money and do it like that. I think you're in great shape. Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
All right, Marie, I presume you got all of your estate documents done because you're shacking up with this dude and you're not married, right?
That's correct. We're working with an estate attorney now.
If you have a financial issue that may be keeping you up at night or bugging you, or maybe you and your partner are having a little conflict over a big financial decision, Mark and I are really good at that couples therapy thing. Not that thing, but the money part we can certainly help you out with. If you would like a little bit of advice with a nice gentle nudge maybe, just go to jillonmoney.com. That's the website. Click the Contact Us button, write your question, and if you want to come on the air, just check off the box that says you'd be willing to come on the air. We'll be right back. You're back. It's Jill on Money, and we get a ton of emails from you folks, and I know we don't get to them so quickly. If you really want to hear many more questions every single day, you should check out our podcast. It's also called Jill on Money. You can subscribe wherever you get podcasts, or just go to our website, jillonmoney.com, and we have a link to help you get that podcast every single day. This is from Linda, who says, I'm 71 years old, still working full-time, hopefully until May of next year. I sold my condo last year with hopes of purchasing a duplex or a single-family ranch home. I started collecting Social Security at 70, and I have savings of about $250,000 in a 457 plan. If I buy, it would be $250,000 or less. My question is, should I be buying a home, as my income will drop to about $75,000 when I retire? That's combined pension and Social Security. I do intend to continue working part-time. My current annual salary is $105,000. I currently rent. Well, Linda, I don't want you to plow through all of the money in your 457 plan in order to buy. The reason is that will just deplete all of your liquidity. So I guess the key question I have for you is, are you happy renting? And is the rent affordable? Because to some extent, if that is the case, maybe you're better just hanging back and renting. And also how much money you actually have in savings, in non-retirement assets. We may find that in your case, renting is preferable to owning. And, now that mortgage rates have jumped on us a little bit, that's going to be tough to get a mortgage that's going to make the affordability numbers work. So let us know, and we'll be happy to follow up. Okay, we have a whole nother hour of the program. If you've got a financial question, go to jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and we will do the rest. Jill on Money will be right back.
It's the weekend, and that can only mean one thing. You're listening to Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome back. It's hour number 2 of the Jill on Money program, where we answer your financial questions to hopefully allow you to make the next best decision for you and or your family. All you need to do is go to our website, jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and then Mark does everything else. He'll get you on the air. Right now, let's go talk to Anne. Hello, Anne. Welcome to the program.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So tell me, what's on your mind? How can we help you out?
My parents are kind of getting up to a point in age where they need a little help. We probably need to do some estate planning. And I started looking at what my dad has for his various retirements, and it's kind of a mess.
We just got off the line, and when people will listen to this, it will have been yesterday's show when we talked to a woman who was trying to help her mother and only realized after her father died that some of the accounts were messed up. So now I'm very happy that we have your situation where we can actually do something proactively to help your parents out. So first, Anne, how old are your parents?
My mom is, she just told me, 74 this year, and my dad will be 78 at the end of the year.
Okay. And I presume they're both retired?
They are.
What kind of income do they have? Do they have Social Security right now?
Okay, so I tried to do as much homework as I could. My mom's got Social Security coming in, and I know my dad does too, but I don't know how much he's got coming in.
Let me ask you this. Did he work his whole life, basically?
He did, yeah.
Tell me how much he made about at the end of his career.
I'm going to guess 90.
Okay.
Yeah. But I am not sure.
So what's mom's Social Security benefit?
She said she's getting about $1,900 a month.
And did she work during her life?
She did.
So, Mark, what do you want to put Dad's Social Security benefit at? What do you think? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. 2,500 is what I'm guessing. Did they claim Social Security? Like, when did they actually retire, both of them?
My dad's been retired for like 20 years. I know they both waited later to claim.
Okay, to claim. All right, that's fine. That's cool. Okay, so that's income from Social Security. Do either of them have pensions?
My mom has a pension, and she says it's about $2,400 a month.
Oh, that's good. So right now, where do they live? They live in a home, in an apartment. Where are they?
They live in a house, and they own it. They paid it off many, many years ago from an inheritance, I think.
What do you think it's worth?
About $393,000.
About 393. Let's say I'm going to say 390. And there's no other debt that's floating around, right?
Correct. Not that I know of.
Good. Did Mom have a retirement plan in addition to her pension?
No.
Okay, but Dad did. So tell us about Dad's retirement plan.
It's kind of old school. It's, I guess, it's not really, it's not a 401k. This was way before that. Mm-hmm. From everything I've dug up, he's got a rollover IRA with Fidelity.
Okay, that's not so old school. That's the old 401k that he rolled over. How much is that in that account?
Okay, about $213,000.
Keep going. So that's one. That's a rollover IRA, $213,000.
Right. Okay. Now he's got an annuity with an insurance company for $105,000.
Okay. And is that if you look at that annuity statement, does it look like it's an IRA? Does it say qualified annuity or does it say non-qualified annuity?
Oh boy, that's a good question. I don't know.
All right, don't worry. We'll figure that out later.
Okay. Non-qualified.
Non-qualified. Beautiful. Okay. All that means is it didn't come from proceeds of a retirement account. It came with his after-tax dollars. It's still a retirement account, but it just there's some different issues around it. What's the company that it's held with?
It's held with Bankers Life.
Okay. What else does he have?
He's got a couple of CDs. This was his description to me. I think I've got one or two. There's at least one. It's $5,000. There may be two. That'd be another $5,000. There's another CD. I'm not sure exactly where it is. That's at $45,000.
That's the one I like.
Yeah, I was pretty pleased to hear about that one.
Is that like their safe money, or do they keep some money in the bank?
I'm just going to call it safe money. That's how I'm thinking of it.
There's no like savings checking that's anything meaningful?
Not that you're asking that. I believe there is just the regular checking account. And I think the last time I actually saw a statement, I think there was $20,000 in it, but I could be mistaken on that.
All right. We'll figure it out. Don't worry. How much money do you think they need to live on? For example, if we kind of gave them the truth serum, do you think they're living on the pension and the 2 Social Security checks, or do you think they're pulling money out of some other accounts?
No, I think just in general living, I think they're doing fine with the Social Security and Mom's pension. I think they're fine.
Okay. Do they think there's any problem right now? I mean, how do they feel about you poking around in all this? When you getting your nose in our business for, girl?
Well, I think they're okay with it. Every time I ask my dad a question, he's like, well, I don't know. I don't know where this is. I think that this exists. This may or may not exist. I don't know. So we're kind of, I don't know if we're starting to head into medical problems.
You mean like cognitive problems? We'll say that nicely. Okay. Yes. So like, I don't know is a good, it's actually good. It's better than saying, keep your nose out of my business.
It is.
We can actually take charge of this. Okay. Very good. So, they've got $6,800 a month in income or so. It gets taxed. They're doing okay. And is there any other asset that you know of that's floating around out there?
There are some stock options. Oh, I don't know if that's the right terminology or not, but he's got some stock when he was buying stock as an employee.
Okay, where is that?
That's a big, I don't know.
Okay.
This was the roundhouse discussion was how many of them are there? What are they? Where are they?
Where are they? Right.
That's a big mystery.
Okay. Does he have a statement of like the last thing he received around that stuff, do you think?
I think he does. Paperwork's not his strong suit.
There's probably, it sounds like they're in fine shape, by the way. I just like, so big picture. if you can live on your fixed income of Social Security and pension, the rest of it we'll find. We'll get it. Don't worry. It's going to require a little work on your part, I'm sorry to say. So the stock that he owns, was that the company where he worked?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, in one form or another. His company, he started out with a computer company back in the day. It got bought by another one. He retired from the other one. They started breaking it up. So
so he got little pieces of that. Okay. What's important about that is that's good news, because usually the company will have some records. All we need you to do is find a statement, literally a statement, and then we can kind of track it down from there. I mean, unless he doesn't remember that he sold it and, put the money in CDs, which could happen. That wouldn't be the worst thing either. Because I don't know how much money you think is in there, but I don't know if it's meaningful in their bigger picture or not.
We think it's about $20,000. That was what he told me a couple days ago.
We'll get back to Ann in just a minute. If you need some financial advice, we are here for you. Me and Mark, we're both CFPs, so we'd be delighted to hear your story. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and we will get you on the air live. We'll be right back.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, and this is the program that attempts to help you make better financial decisions. And we do that by hosting this radio show. We've got two other broadcasts, two podcasts. One is called Jill on Money. The other is called Eye on Money. And we've got a whole bunch of other content that lives on our website, JillOnMoney.com, which you definitely should check out. Now, for those of you who are seeking more customized advice, deeper exploration of your financial situation, I encourage you to check out our sponsor, Facet Wealth. Facet Wealth helps you manage all the aspects of your financial life, not just the investing. We're not just talking about retirement and investment planning. Facet is actually the guide you need to take you through major life decisions. Like, what do you do after you get a raise? Or how are you going to create a roadmap to help you figure out how much money you can contribute to your kids' college education? All these things are done with a certified financial planner. So if you are interested in this kind of customized advice, you can visit cbsaudio.com/Jill for 2 months free off your first year of financial planning. Let's get back to Ann and help her with her situation with her parents. Is he willing to, he's willing to have you help out in this endeavor, right?
Yeah, they're pretty much on board with, I have a sister too, with us helping to kind of get things straight so we know what's what, and if we need to move things around to make things simpler, but still have them feel like they're in control of it.
Okay. All right. Well, this is good. And right now, because your dad and your mom, your mom doesn't have any retirement account, but your dad has to take distributions from his Fidelity rollover account. That's happening. Do you know how that rollover is invested?
It looks like a whole bunch of index funds, to be honest.
Okay. That's not bad. That's fine. And the annuity, the Banker's Life annuity, do you have a statement for that or not?
I do.
Because that was okay. When you look at that statement, the non-qualified annuity, what does it look like it's invested in? There's something usually called like a sub account. It almost should look like a mutual fund. What does that look like?
The only thing I can see is a Standard & Poor's, an S&P 500, beginning index reading, index average participation rate.
Yep.
And
that's the only fund that's there?
That's all I see. I see the value of the annuity.
Yep.
Annuity detail, which just numbers.
Yep.
And then the Standard & Poor's listing at the bottom.
So it is possible your father has invested 100% of his annuity in a stock index fund, which is pretty risky. I mean, for his 78. I mean, he may not be drawing on it right now, so it doesn't matter. But here's what I think you should do. You're not so into this. I think it may be worth your while to talk to an investment advisor of some sort to help sort some of this out. And the reason I think that is like unless is your sister comfortable managing money? What's her temperature on that?
She's pretty good at saving. In terms of managing, I've probably got more skill.
I mean, it wouldn't be bad for you guys to have somebody to just kind of hold your hand and walk you through, like, let's uncover what we have, what we don't have, and let's try to figure out kind of like a good game plan for them. And in fact, Mark, I'm thinking that maybe we just have her talk to Brent because he's in the neighborhood here. At least he was. And maybe we can get you some help with a guy who's from the Mid-Atlantic. He lives in Florida now, but whatever. His whole life is there. And he knows, I feel like his parents are your parents, basically. So I think he would be a good match in terms of like what your needs are. And if not, we can find you someone else for sure. But I think that would be helpful because there's a few things going on. We just want a game plan so that they don't blow through all this money and you don't feel responsible for letting that happen.
Yes, that would be great. Yes.
All right. That sounds good to me. And do they have estate planning documents? They don't need a lot. I mean, all they really need is like, I leave you everything, honey. You leave me everything. We die together and our other daughter get the money.
Yeah, I know they've got a will. I believe there's, I think we did a power of attorney a while ago, but I can double check that.
That's good.
And
that's great.
I think there's a medical directive too. I'm pretty sure there is. There've been a couple of health things lately. So
honest to God, if you have that, you're probably in good shape. The other thing that's really good for you guys is, frankly, you have your parents who are actually willing to go there. And that's usually the biggest hurdle. The fact that they're willing to be like, yeah, check it out. That's incredibly important and very helpful given the situation. Nothing bad's going to happen. They got money. They got plenty of money. We just want to make sure that it's managed correctly for their situation. I think you guys are, and are you and your sister in good financial situations yourselves?
I think I'm in pretty good shape. I've got a 401k. I've got a couple of things with Vanguard. I've got a pretty plush emergency cash fund.
Mm-hmm. And your sis?
I know she has got a 401k. She's made a concerted effort in the last 5 or 6 years to really get rid of debt and start saving. So I don't have a real good pulse of hers, but I know that she is working on it.
All right. And you like her and you guys get along, right?
We do all right. Yeah.
Let's get Anne a couple of names. You're such a good daughter for doing this, and an excellent time when your parents are willing to get help and you're there to help them out. And we just kind of get them on a sort of like an autopilot more than anything else. I think that's the most important thing for them. So they don't have to worry about what's where, and you have it all. It's done. And you guys don't have to worry about it. And they don't have to worry about it, which is nice, right?
Yeah, that would be perfect. Autopilot is their speed. They would love that.
I like autopilot myself. Set it and forget it. Exactly. Anything else that we can do for you, Anne?
I did talk to a friend about some of this going on, and they had recently lost their parents and had to deal with the estate and all that mess. And my sister and I would like to keep the house if we could. So I understand that we might need to buy the house from them earlier than we thought. So the story was this friend's parents ended up having to go into
assisted living, and they spent all their assets down. Don't worry about it now. You don't have to do that now.
Okay, that's great. That's
not a problem now. Your parents have money. If one of them needed care, they still have income. I don't think you need to do this right now.
Oh, that's
and if things change, then especially when two parents are alive, you definitely don't need to do it because one person has to stay in the house.
You're right.
Right. Because we don't want to be like, oh, dad has to go to a home. Mom, good luck. Bye. We're selling the house. No. Unless, are you guys partnered, both of you guys?
No, both of us are single, actually. So there's no.
I mean, look, there is a possibility that, like, if you wanted to, you could both buy that house, split it, all move in together, save money, blah, blah, blah. But I still even think that's premature right now because your parents are okay. They can take care of themselves, right? They're in their 70s. Everything's good, right?
Yeah, they're doing pretty well. There was a health scare last year. There was a minor stroke. It was very minor, but it was a wake up call. It's a reality check. And so we're just trying to kind of,
That's smart.
get an update.
I don't think you need to. Mark, am I wrong? I don't think they should, I mean, listen, if for some reason, it was a critical situation, you buy the house from them and it's very easy to do it. A lawyer can help you out. I don't think you need to do that now. Look, if it's 2.5, 3 years from now, things have changed. Interest rates have now gone back down, and maybe this makes more sense. One of you has a partner, one doesn't, or whatever. And you kind of feel like, yeah, let's do this. Fine. I don't think you need to do that now, but I understand the thought process. So I think that's good. You're very good. You're thinking ahead. You got your advisor hat on. Well done to you, Anne.
Thank you. We're notorious about dragging our feet, so we wanted to get ahead of this one.
Well, you're doing just fine. So we'll get you a couple names and we'll try to help you out, okay?
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, if you are planning for yourself, for your parents, for your adult children, we're here for you. Jill and Mark. It's JillOnMoney.com. That's the website. And it's the Jill on Money Show. And we will be right back.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, and we are answering financial questions from people like you, or maybe people not so much like you. It doesn't really matter whether you have a lot of money, a little money. All we're trying to do is help you figure out the next place that you need to go on your financial journey. Get it? It's about you, not anybody else. Right now, we are going to talk to Gabe, who is from Philadelphia. Gabe, you joined us in the before times in January of 2020, right?
Yeah, before we knew what was about to happen.
Unbelievable, right? And what brought you on the air in January of 2020?
I think back then I was trying to figure out what to do with kids' college funds that hadn't started yet, vacation funding, try to get ordinary budgeting, see if I was on track for retirement. But, that wasn't the majority of the focus.
I also think Gabe was so focused on saving that they weren't really taking a lot of time to enjoy their lives. And you basically said, look, live your life, have some fun along the way.
Yeah, wasn't I right? You should have lived your life and had some fun in January and February. You had no idea what was going to happen in March. So you probably didn't have a lot of fun for 18 months. So how'd you do during the pandemic? Did you keep your job?
Well, I did switch jobs. We did go on vacation a couple of times, so that did happen. I did switch jobs recently, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with this old 401k and how to maneuver a new 401k as well.
Okay, great. So, Gabe, first of all, you're married, right?
Correct.
How old are you?
Mid-30s.
And how old is your spouse?
35 as well.
And you said 2 kids, right?
Correct.
How old are they?
8 and 3.
And you switched jobs. How much are you earning now?
Roughly $220 bonus included.
Nice. Is your wife working outside of the home?
Yes, she is.
And how much did she make?
So they are going through sort of rejiggering all their funding right now. Mm-hmm. And by the end of this summer, she should be roughly making 90-ish.
Okay. Is she working for a nonprofit or a for-profit?
No, she government, so state.
Okay, state government. Okay, got it. So right now, your current 401k, have you signed up already or not yet?
Not the new one. I have the old one. The old one lost a lot of value. It's roughly 130. The new one, I'm in this transition period where I still have time to sign up for it. Mm-hmm. So I haven't yet signed up because I wasn't sure if I should do pre or post tax.
Your wife in the state government, does she contribute to retirement?
So she contributes to a 457 and also has a pension as well.
Tell me, remind me about the pension, because I love
The
pensions.
pension, I believe, when she finishes, it's like the last 3 years and 50% of her salary. Then, so we estimate like probably 45 to 50.
That's awesome. And how much is in her 457 plan right now?
40K, because the market's also down.
As we speak.
Yeah.
By the time this airs, it could be back very strong. Who knows? Gabe, when you switched jobs, did you get a bump up in salary?
Yeah, it was a significant bump. It was roughly 75% of a bump. So
wow.
Yeah, that's why I left my pension behind. I didn't leave it behind. I still have it. It's vested. It's at roughly 15,000 a year if I did a single life.
It's something, right? So it's not bad. How about money in the bank right now?
8.5 months of emergency currently, and that's adjusted for the new salary, not the old one. And no debts outside of the house. It's roughly like 225, 3.5%. Probably getting a new car next month because it's necessary. The old car's like 15 years old, so we need to get a new one.
How much is the house worth?
Last I checked, about 405.
And you're happy there? Like you're going to stick around?
Oh yeah, we're good. I think we're good. Great school district, and wife was like, we're not selling how to buy high.
No kidding. We are staying where we are. We are in love with our mortgage. Any money outside in other retirement accounts?
No, I do dabble in a little bit of crypto, but that not anything significant that really attributes to like play money. Nothing in a brokerage really. So it's mainly just the retirements.
And for your wife, considering that she's a state employee, does that mean your kids get a break if they go to state college?
That one I'm not entirely sure about. We do have 20K in the 529. I haven't looked into that. That's actually pretty interesting. I haven't never looked into that.
Sometimes I'm pretty interesting. Sometimes I'm very interesting. I'll just take pretty for the time being. You might want to check that out. I don't know. It really depends. Every state, every municipality has different rules, but sometimes if you're a state employee, you do get a little break. We'll see. Let's not count on it for now. You have this new cash flow, right? You've got a lot of money that is flowing through. What was your game plan? Were you going to max out your 401k?
So prior to this, I'd never maxed out. So my game plan is to definitely max it out. So to the 25 limit, it's just like, do you do it pre or do you do it post? I don't know.
It's 20,500 is the limit. So right now you guys are in the 24% tax bracket. That's your top bracket. Do you anticipate the salaries going for your salary going higher? In other words, is there a potential that instead of being at 220, you're at 3 something going forward?
I don't anticipate that in the next year or so, but 5 or 10 years down the line, I think that 300 probably like realistic for sure.
Mark, they're in the 24% top bracket right now. You think they should do the Roth for his 401k?
100%, yeah, especially given his age.
Yeah, I think so too. So what you're going to do is you're going to max out your 401k. You're going to use the Roth 401k. Do you know where the plan is held, the new plan?
The new plan, I believe, is Mass Mutual. The old plan is Fidelity.
So you're going to have to send me those Mass Mutual, the choices. We don't want you to roll over your old 401k. Can you keep it where it is? They're not forcing you to push it out, are they?
They are not.
Okay, keep it there. Just keep it there. Don't change a thing. Keep your old 401k there. But I want to see those choices in the Mass Mutual plan because there are probably some decent choices within the Mass Mutual menu, but of the options you have, which are the cheapest and most effective? Because even in those Mass Mutual plans, sometimes, Mark, when you choose a index fund, the fund cost is like 0.5%, even though it's an index fund, just because it's inside of, say, an annuity contract. So, let's figure out what are the right choices in there. But the most important thing to do is leave your old Fidelity 401. You don't even have to roll it over. Just keep it as a 401k.
All right. That's where I was like really concerned on what to do with that one specifically.
No, we're not going to do a thing with that. Okay, we'll get back to Gabe in just a second. Remember that all of our content lives on the JillOnMoney.com website. Just bookmark it so you can hop on and off whenever you have a question or something comes up. JillOnMoney.com. That's the website and that's the show. We'll be right back.
Follow Jill on Twitter and Instagram for more personal finance content. Just use the handle @JillOnMoney. Now, back to the show.
You are back. It's Jill on Money. I just realized that now that we're into October, we are going to start fielding a lot of questions about the benefit enrollment period. If your benefits have come up, just grab that file, whether it's an electronic or physical folder, and give us a holler, and we can help you figure out the best choices for you. Go to JillOnMoney.com. That's the website. Click the Contact Us button, and we can help you out. Right now, let's go back to Gabe from Philadelphia. So now, if we have money going into your Roth 401k, we presumably will have some extra money to throw into the 529 plans, right?
So state limit you can write off about 10K a year. So that's what I've been doing for like the last couple of years. And that's what I plan it every single year.
But you can put more than that in. It's just you get the state income tax deduction up to 10. So, Mark, how much more of their money do you want him to put into the 529 versus, say, going up to emergency reserve with 12 months or something? What do you think?
For each kid on an annual basis, if you can get in around $10,000, that would be my goal. That would probably get you to where you want to be. Unless of course, you find out you get some, like Jill said, some big in-state tuition discount because of your wife's job. So find that out first.
Yeah. So first, let's find that out. If not, then what I want you to do is, you're right now you're doing 5 each for the kids, do 10 each for the kids. And the rest of the money, what I would suggest is, I would beef up that emergency reserve fund a little bit more and just go to, more like a year. And then once that's done, then I think you're going to be in great shape. This will be very fast because you're making so much more money. Then you're going to open, instead of a crypto dabbling account, you're going to open up a brokerage account, and it's going to be great. How much is your wife contributing to her 457, by the way?
Only roughly like 5,000-6,000 a year. That I was going to bump up as well, just because of all the changes. So it was just, something on the side as a step from the pension.
What do you think, Mark? Do you want to use the 457 traditional? It's traditional, not a Roth, right?
Correct.
Do you want to use the traditional, or do you want them to beef up and do a brokerage?
I think I would probably go the brokerage route, to be honest with you.
Me too. I'd like you to have some non-retirement assets. I think your retirement's going to be pretty good, because if you think about it this way, at the very least, you're probably going to have 60 grand a year in combined pensions, right? Will your wife be entitled to Social Security?
My understanding is yes, and medical as well. So we'll be covered on medical on her side.
Yeah, I think you're pretty good. I think you're going to end up having like 9 grand a month, 10 grand a month coming in between pension and Social Security. So what we want to make sure is that you beef up your non-retirement account so that between the time you retire, which who knows when, I don't know, maybe it's 60, maybe it's 62, and the time you claim Social Security, at least 67, maybe 70, maybe 72, you have money to live on and you don't have to worry about it. I like that as an idea.
We did a calculation, and we're in the range of like 12.5 to 13K a month in terms of a projection. Yeah, or a projection when we did it on the Fidelity website.
That's great. And so think about it. If you have 60 grand in pension, let's say 30 in Social Security for you, maybe it'll be 20 for her. And now you're right in there. You got your 12 grand, 13 grand a month. Now, the only thing that we haven't accounted for is that do each of your pensions have cost of living adjustments embedded in them?
That's something to look into.
Yeah, let's find that out. But you'll have enough money. We just want you to sock away money. You'll have money in the Roth. You'll have money in traditional, and then you're also going to have a brokerage account. So I think those are your priorities. I feel like this is like a very good story, Gabe. You've kind of cranked, and you've had a really good 2.5 year period where you got through the pandemic. You went on a few vacations. Have you gotten used to it? Does it feel good for you right now?
We're not worried at the moment. I think, we're just trying to make sure that everyone's settled and set and
Exactly. So I think that what's most important now is let's get some answers, find out about the state school, find out about the cost of living adjustment on the pensions. Next part is use the Roth option at work. You're going to send us your options for investment choices in your new Roth 401k. Keep the old 401k at Fidelity. Your wife can keep putting that $5 or $6 a year into the 457. You'll add another $10,000 a year, so you're going to do $10,000 each for the 529, presuming that you get no benefit from the state. If there is a benefit, we can rerun that as a kind of a goal for you. And then let's open up a brokerage account. Just do it at Fidelity. It'll be super easy for you. And no more crypto dabbling, I guess. What's your crypto worth right now?
Well, some of it is held up, so who knows what it's really worth.
Oh my God, you're in one of those places. Jeez.
A quick question. With the no rolling over the 401k, and if you're opening a brokerage on Fidelity, is there any way to link the two, or just they have to remain separate because of the tax penalty?
Well, they have to be separate accounts, but Fidelity will let you look at them from the same screen usually.
The 529s are there too, so that's where.
So that they should. I think that you'll be able to do that. I mean, most Fidelity accounts can link through, even if it's an old 401k, and you're comfortable managing the money, right?
Yeah, I've been doing it for about 7 years, like really extensively. So I think this is just really helpful to get this information from you. So I appreciate it.
Okay, when we return, there's just one more segment. Oh my gosh, the show's gone by so quickly. If you have a financial question, just go to JillOnMoney.com. You're back. It's Jill on Money. Coming up to the end of the program, let's do one quick question from Kim, who writes, I'm 27 years old. I make $126,000 as a software engineer. Yowza, that's a good living. My rent is $2,300 a month. I have 8 months of emergency savings in a high-yield savings account. I contribute 6% to a Roth 401k, plus I get a 3% employer match. I invest 8% in the S&P 500. I have $10,000 worth of Series I bonds. I've got no debt. I'm not planning on having kids anytime soon, maybe eventually. What else should I be doing to save and grow my money? I may want to buy a house in 5 to 7 years, but it's not something I'm thinking too much about right now. Okay, so I'm thinking that what you're using that S&P 500 fund is just a plain old brokerage account. So maybe what I would be doing is adding a little bit more money to the Roth 401k and a little bit more money into another fund besides the S&P 500. Maybe you have most of the money going to the S&P 500 and some money going into, say, a bond index fund. That way we are building both your retirement and a non-retirement account that you could potentially tap if a house becomes a reality. But as you said, it's not a thing that's in the immediate future. I think a 5 to 7 year time horizon is an excellent goal, and having that non-retirement brokerage account available is really where you would be accumulating a down payment fund. So I hope that helps. You're doing really well. It's great to hear young people doing such great saving and really planning work. Okay, that is the program. Our music is composed by Joel Goodman. Mark Talercio is our executive producer. Try to do something nice for someone else today. It will make that person feel good, and I know it will make you feel really good. Thanks for listening, and we will talk to you next week.